Hello and welcome back, everybody. The last time we spoke, I was working on the bathroom, which I completed, and today's lesson is going to be on how to start and finish the galley kitchen for this particular pool house design. So I'm going to start by offsetting a line from here over to the left, and this is going to represent a space I'm going to leave open to be able to access the bathroom easily. Now, hallways should be a minimum of 3 feet wide. They can be larger. They can typically go up to 3.5 feet or 3 3/4 feet. But in this case, because it's a pool house, it's small. My galley kitchen isn't overly large. I'm going to leave the minimum, which is 3 feet. So I'm going to offset 3 feet. I'm going to use this line and offset it to the left. And I'm also going to put ortho on, and I'm going to use a grip, and I'm going to bring it to the perpendicular snap here. Okay, so I'm ready to put an appliance in. I'm going to start with my refrigerator, and I'm going to put it on this side of the kitchen. Here, in the kitchen and bathroom fixtures and appliances file that we copied in previously, this represents the refrigerator. This represents the opening door on this side. So I'm going to begin. I'm going to turn ortho off. I'm going to select it. I'm going to copy it up into my kitchen. Now, I need to turn this around, or rotate it, I should say. So ortho goes back on, and I'm going to use rotate. And that's the orientation I need. So what I can do is snap it, move it by this endpoint, snap it into this endpoint, and my fridge is in position. I can erase this line, and I can measure this space, and I have my 3 feet, which I'm happy with. Okay, next part is adding countertops, or countertop space. Now, how wide should countertops be? Well, I'm going to tell you, they should be 2 feet. Measure your own countertop widths at home. They should be 2 feet. They should be in a range very similar, if not. So we're going to be using 2 feet nominal for ours. We're going to use an offset. Type in 2 feet. Enter. Offset up. I'm going to have my counter space end right where the inside of this exterior wall is. So I am going to use a line command and just draw a line from endpoint to endpoint. And I'm going to use a grip. I'm going to grip this back to this endpoint. Now, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to have the fridge butt perfectly right up against this counter space. So we are going to leave a little bit of a gap. We're going to make it a little realistic. Some presentation quality style design drawings here. So I'm going to measure this countertop length. It measures 6 feet 6.5 inches. So I'm going to leave an inch between where the countertop ends and where the fridge begins. Now I'm not going to offset from the fridge to the left because the fridge is a group. I don't want to explode it or ungroup it. I want to leave it like that. So I'm just going to offset this line over. So again, we're going to use offset. It's going to be 6 feet dash 5 inches dash 1/2 inch. Enter. And there we have it. I can just use a grip, bring this back, and there I have it. Looks fantastic. Now we're going to start on the other side of the kitchen. We're going to have a little more activity going on this side. So again, we're going to offset another counter space, make it a galley. So it's going to be 2 feet again. Let's try that again. Offset down. Now, I don't want my counter to, it's okay to have it butt up against this interior wall, but it should not travel all the way to the door here. I don't like this. So if I measure this space, I have 12 feet, 8.5 inches. So I could make this 12 feet and that would be good enough. So I'm going to make this countertop that length. So I'll offset 12 feet. Bring this line over and then I'm going to trim the rest. Okay. So that I could lengthen this a bit more if I wanted to, but I've got a healthy amount of space between where the door from the outside, exterior door swings open, and it makes sense to have the door rest against where this counter is. It's much less obtrusive than having the door swing open into an empty space here. Okay, so the next thing we're going to look at is our kitchen sink. Kitchen sink is found down below right here. It's already a group. And I can select it. I'm going to copy it from the midpoint, come up, I'm going to snap it right to this midpoint on the most inside perimeter of the window, right there. There I have it. Now this is how this should be. It makes a lot of sense, where possible, to have your kitchen sink and a window right exactly lined up with each other, center to center. Right? This allows you to be able to usually look out the window, look outside at what's happening. This is a very normal part of architectural design in kitchens. And we're going to snap it, again, just like I've shown you, right against the window, because if I was to measure between here and here, where the sink and the counter meet, there's 3 inches. So that's generally how much space you generally have at the edge of a sink to the edge of a counter. So this all is working out very nicely. So that is how you should snap it into place. Now, the next thing we're going to add is our range, which is basically our cooktop and oven. So we're going to go down and look for that. We find that item right here. There's 2 of them. You can use this one or this one. It doesn't really matter. I prefer this one. I like the larger one. So I'm going to take this from Ortholoft and copy it up. I'm not going to put it into position exactly just yet. I'm going to leave it right there. Now, I'm going to aim to get this as centered as I can between where the sink ends on the right side to this interior wall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, under Annotate, the center line tool. I'm going to select the sink and the wall and then automatically find that center point. And what I want to do is select the range, go back to home, move it. I want to move it from the midpoint here, not where the handle is, but right there. And I'm going to snap right there. And that fits perfectly the way it needs to fit. Right? So again, this butts up against that exterior wall in the same manner that the kitchen sink does, and the handle rests outside the counter space. And the center line can be erased. Now, we have at least one more thing we're going to be adding, which is a dishwasher. Now your dishwasher must go where the kitchen sink is. It must be on this side or this side. It doesn't make sense to have your dishwasher on this side because you want to keep the plumbing together. Like normally these things are always going to be next to a kitchen sink. So think about that. So make sure you leave yourself enough room to allow your dishwasher to be inserted on either side. So this is going to be hidden under your countertop. So let's go back down here. This is where it is, DW. We are going to select it. Now this is not a group, just to warn you. We are going to copy from here and bring it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to snap it right on the end here, just like that. And there I have it. I also could have put it on this side as well. It doesn't really matter, but there is enough room. It doesn't butt into the sink because the sink would also would have material under it, under the counter, so they can't interfere with one another, but we're fine. This measures about 1.5 inches, and that's good enough. So everything I need is in position here. Now, it's up to you if you want to do this, but some people ask WO. Okay, what is WO? Well, this stands for warming oven. Now, a lot of houses, modern houses these days, don't use the range. They have a cooktop on the counter, and then they have a separate spot for the oven. Now, if you wanted to do this, you could copy the warming oven and bring it up into the Galley Kitchen, and you could put it, let's say, hidden inside this countertop, much like we did with the dishwasher. But if you do this, you decide to separate the two. Let's say you wanted to leave the cooktop here. I would explode the cooktop and I would delete the handle, because that would signal that this is just a cooktop and not a range. So if you want to separate them, again, it's optional. You don't have to do that. You can do it as I've just done here, but make sure that you explode this, remove the handle if you're using this. Okay, I won't demonstrate that for you. I think my description is good enough, but that is it. So that's all I really need for my Galley Kitchen. So if I take some measurements here, if I measure between the counter here and down, I got 4 feet, which is great because I've got plenty of space to be able to move through the kitchen. It's not cramped. If it was a generous width, it would be about 3 feet 9 inches. And it does kind of become a just tiny bit more narrow where the fridge is. Let's measure that. So that's 3 feet 8 inches. So it's perfect. I've got enough space to kind of walk into the kitchen here and then go to the bathroom if needed. So we have one last thing we have to do to this, and this is a review of what we did with the bathroom. We're going to be putting this on a kitchen layer. So we're going to again go into layer properties. We are going to select a new layer. We're going to call this one Galley Kitchen, and we'll change the color. This time I'm going to use, I'll use red, just for the heck of it. Again, you can use any color. So I'm going to select all of this, go up to my layer manager, and then throw it all on Galley Kitchen. And there I have my bathroom, my kitchen done, all my windows, and all my doors. Beautiful. That's it for today, and we'll talk to you later.